Okay, this video is about the Battletech The Crescent Hawk's Inception's game box, and this one was for the Apple IIc, and that's how the back of the box looks like. I had this box for, see, I got it in 1988. I bought this game in '88. So I had this box for 31 years, and it's still in pretty good shape if you look at it. I mean, if you can see it. Good shape. I have all the manual. I don't have the manual, but I have the others. I have the disc for it, the original disc. This, as you can see, this is for the Apple II series, and it came out in 1989. I bought it in '89, so that makes it about 30 years old. So when you play this game on the Apple II series, you need to make a boot disc to play it. I mean, sorry, a player disc. So this disc was a boot disc, and you needed an empty floppy disk to make a player disc to play the game. Or if you had a hard drive on your Apple II, you could use that also. And it came with this too. This was a Battletech reference card for the Apple II. It's kind of like gives you instructions on how to create a player disc, and it also gives you the system requirements, what you need. Like, you need an Apple IIc, an Apple IIc+, Apple IIe, or Apple IIgs with at least 128 KB of RAM, 1 or 2 5 1/4 disk drives, 1 blank disk. That's pretty much what you needed, and the instructions on how to do it right there. And more instructions. And this was a kind of a guidebook for the weapons and stuff, and the mechs, the equipment. Legal signature as it appears in the school files. So in this game, you're a cadet, and your name is Jason Youngblood, and that's why I came with this pamphlet, I guess. And this is the types of mechs that were in the game, like the Wasp. It kind of looks like a Veritech fighter from Robotech. And this is a Locust. This looks kind of like the alien mecha from Robotech. It gives you the specifications of the mecha, like the mass of it, 20 tons, cruising speed 86.4 kilometers per hour, maximum speed 129 kilometers per hour, walking factor. This is what it translates in the game. So the game is basically a RPG, a role-playing type of game, turn-based, and you have the running factor. That's what appears on the computer when you play the game in combat mode. No jump jets, heat sinks 10, armor factor 64, armaments 1 medium laser in the center torso, 2 machine guns on either the right or left arm. And this is a Stinger. Looks like a Veritech fighter from Robotech again. So FASA had like a cease and desist order from I think Harmony Gold when they tried to release Mech Warrior online with using mecha which were similar to like mechs from Robotech, from the Robotech Universe. And this is a Commando 2D. This is another type of mech, and you have various weapons. I think these are mech weapons. You have small laser, medium laser, large laser, PPC. I never got to use a PPC in this game. The largest energy weapon I was able to use in this game was a large laser for the Chameleon, which was a 50-ton mech with lots of energy weapons. And you have an autocannon. I think that was available for the urban mech, and a flamer, kind of like a flamethrower. It makes the heat of your enemy go up, you know, which causes them to shut down, so you can pummel them with your other weapons. This is a vibro anti-mech weapon. Vibro bombs. Never seen this weapon in the game. And you have different other types of anti-mech weaponry, like the Inferno. This is kind of like a flamer. It increases the heat of your enemy mechs if you get a hit. And these are personal weapons in the game. So you have a vibroblade. You have a lot more weapons than what's shown on this booklet. You have other weapons like a cudgel, which is like a club. You have a bow and arrow. You have other types of melee weapons, crossbow and stuff like that, which is not shown here. And you have a submachine gun. That's probably the best anti-personnel weapon you can get in the game. And you have a laser pistol. Those aren't very good. And the laser rifle. And another thing they missed here was a SRM launcher, a personal SRM launcher. And you could take out most enemies with just one rocket in the game. And there's also various types of armor that they didn't put here in this booklet, like you have a flak vest, a flak suit, an environmental vest, which was probably the best type of armor you could get in the game, which covers your whole body essentially and has very good armor protection. And it came with this poster as well. I actually hung this up on my wall when I had it. As you can see, that's actually the box art for the game. And one thing I'm missing here is a manual. I must have lost it or something. Don't have the manual. And you need the manual to beat the game. I must have misplaced it somewhere. But you can get it online, which is a good thing. I'll show it to you. Okay. This is a manual. I got it from archives.org. Table of contents. There's a map of Pacifica, the instruction manual. Part of it. So it shows you how to do various things in the game, like allocate men into mechs. I think you could have as many as 5 characters in this game. Spec character, heal character, okay. Okay, this is the map of the game, and you start right here in the Citadel, and your first objective is, after the invasion of Pacifica, or this planet, by the Kurita forces, you have to go from the Citadel to the starport and meet somebody there. So it's a good thing they came up with this map. I mean, games back in the day required you to have the instruction manual to play it. That was kind of like a copy protection, because back then they didn't have the internet. Everything wasn't like connected, you know, how they have Steam now. And if you want to play the game, and you have to go to Steam or UBI Soft to play the game, right? The game is like on your computer, but there's some security features which does not enable you to play the game on your computer if you're not connected to the internet. So back in the old days, back in the retro gaming days, they didn't have that. So this the manual was a type of copy protection. Without the map, it would be very difficult for you to play the game, or you wouldn't know how to play the game. And the manual was also very useful in giving you tips on how to play the game. This gives you various overviews about the mechs you would be using in the game. Like earlier I showed you about the Wasp. And you need this thing right here to play the game when you first start it. Like it asks you, you kind of like have a test question, and if you don't answer any of these questions correctly on where the various parts of the mech are, you can't start like the first missions, you know, the first missions when you're in like the Citadel or the Academy. That's the thing. It's kind of like a copy protection. These are various mech parts you have to know as a cadet, and for this map you have to have this in order to finish the game. So in the last mission there's like a map room, and you have to like plot out the star systems correctly in order to finish the game. That's another copy protection you need. This gives you a brief history of the Battletech Universe, because when I first got this game in '89, I really didn't know what Battletech was all about. You know, it was I thought it was kind of like a Robotech type of game. That's what I thought, but I was wrong about it. It's a totally different universe. They may have mechs that look like Battletech mecha, but it's not. And some of the graphic scenes kind of look like scenes that you would see from a Robotech cartoon or something. And these are the various houses in the Battletech universe, like the House of Davion, House of Steiner, House of Kurita. And Kurita is the one that invaded Pacifica, the planet that you are in the game, you know. And House of Steiner is the house that you're playing for. You have the House of Mech, or the so-called free world leagues, the House of Liao, the Kapalan Confederate, about the Youngblood family. Youngblood is the person you're playing. So you're playing Jason Youngblood. And this gives a brief history of the Youngblood family in relation to the game. So in the game, you're trying to find your father, Jeremiah Youngblood, and you don't find him in the first game. There's another game called The Crescent Hawk's Revenge or something. That was a game released, that was a sequel to this game, released by the same company, Infocom. Developed by Westwood Accessories, which was a company that developed the game, and you get to rescue your father, Jeremiah Youngblood, in the sequel to this game. And there's all this stuff about copyright. Okay, that's it. Okay, thank you for watching the video.